joining us now. Thank you so much for attending our, goodness, what is this, our fifth Fika with the Swede. And we're so excited to have our guest Anette Larsson here, our Swedish Ambassador Linnea Bengtsson, and our International Business Development Partnership with Emma Kornin. It's 8:30 now, so I guess we can begin. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to add them to the chat box, so that way we can go ahead and submit them to our speaker. Please always feel free to ask questions. Hopefully, we will be able to get to all of them. If not, I'm sure that we will be able to get your answers to you. But anyway, to begin, again, my name is Alex Fox. I'm the Executive Director of the Swedish Historical Society. We own the Erlander home behind me and the Nordic Cultural Center. This year, we are so excited to celebrate, I love your mug, Richard, the 150th anniversary of the Erlander home and its building. And so this and so many other programming is geared towards that, to celebrate this milestone in the Rockford Swedish community. We are so excited to have all of our guests here today. So it is my honor to first introduce Emma Kornin, our International Business Developer at the City of Lidköping and Gardiegymnasiet. Hello, Emma.
Hello, thank you, Alex. Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here. I just wanted to start with saying that I'm so happy and so proud to get to be a part of this. I think it's a great initiative and I am enjoying it. For those of you who don't know, I work with the partnership between Lidköping and Rockford. And my connection to Rockford is that I'm an Rockford University alumni. I was there for an exchange semester while taking my bachelor's degree here in Sweden. And it's the best thing that I've ever done. And I'm so excited and happy to be working with the partnership with Rockford. And I'm looking forward to this session too. And I hope there will be a few more Fikas in the future.
Thank you, Emma. If you are first time visitor to our Fika program, again, this is our fifth Fika and is an initiative started by our Swedish Ambassador in tandem with Swedish Historical Society to try to bring students to Rockford and virtually anywhere that you may be, because I understand that some of our participants today and in the past are not Rockford residents, but that's okay. We are so excited to be able to present this programming to anybody and everybody. So I get to have the honor of also introducing Linnea Bengtsson, our Swedish ambassador. And so Linnea.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us for today's Fika. And I also want to say a big thank you to Emma for being with us, not only in this Fika session, but also for taking over the job after me. I'm very proud of everything you're doing and very happy to support you moving forward with this. So please know that you're very welcome, and we're very happy to have you with us in Skaraborg and hopefully soon in Rockford as well. Today's almost, I don't know if I feel a little bit nervous since it's my old teacher that is going to be featured here today. We'll see what the grade will be afterwards, but it's quite the honor for me to be able to introduce Anette Larsson to you today. She is a wonderful person, a wonderful teacher that I had the pleasure of having in, I graduated in 2002 so for 3 years in upper secondary school. So. But thank you, everyone, for being on this Fika with us. And I will start asking Anette, who is Anette Larsson?
Okay, so before I'll answer, I will say I'm very happy and kind of proud to have this opportunity to be with you. And about the Fika, Sweden never says no to an opportunity to have Fika, even if it's a virtual one, like this one. But as Linnea said, I'm a teacher, and I was Linnea's teacher. She was in my first class at the gymnasium, or it's like secondary school. And at that time, I was a teacher in Swedish and social studies. Since then, I have also followed some courses. So now my main focus is still Swedish language and literature, which is fantastic. And the other subject is media and communication, which I think is a very important topic and subject today. And for everyone, but especially maybe for the young people. But other than that, before I decided to be a teacher, I worked with economics. But I did that for quite some time, and I figured out that figures was not my thing. So I wanted to do something else. So then I just thought about what am I interested in, what do I want to do. So I decided to be a teacher. And my subjects, Swedish and social studies, it means it's 5.5 years of education to be that in Sweden, because it's 2 subjects that are the longest education because they are so complex. I think it's about that. But I did that, so I graduated in 99, and Linnea was in my first class actually, that I followed for 3 years. And more, I'm not only a teacher, I have a life beside that. Not very much now in graduation times, but one has to do one's best. I have 3 children, 3 boys, or maybe they are big boys now, that I am, as a mother, of course, very proud of. And they are well, they are doing well in life. One is a math specialist. He has a master's degree in technical mathematics. The other one is a doctor in medicine. And the third one, the small one, just graduated from transport and logistics. And what do I do else? Well, tennis, of course. Tennis is quite a big part of my life. I like to, it's a good sport to do. And it's not only for the exercise for a body, because it's a lot of mental thing about tennis also. And not only is Linnea my old student, she's also a tennis partner. So we do play tennis together. So Linnea, yeah, I don't know. We have 4 questions, so maybe as a teacher, I mean, I could go on talking. So maybe we should take the other question.
Yeah, and that's perfect. And it goes into, I think, where you're heading. So can you tell us about your work and perhaps a little bit also about the Swedish educational system? I compare the school that you're teaching at as upper secondary school in the United States system, but please tell us about your work and the educational system.
Yeah, I think it's called upper secondary, and that means it's after the compulsory school. But even if it's not you can choose to do something else after the nowadays 10 years of the compulsory school. It's like 98% of the Swedish young people, they do attend upper secondary school. And they are 16 when they start, and so it's for a 3 year of duration. So they will be 19 when they graduate. And most schools in Sweden are public schools, but that it's not the state that runs them anymore. That was some 20-25 years ago. They changed that. So it's the municipalities that has the responsibility for the Gymnasiet, or upper secondary school. And I work at the Gardiegymnasiet, that is situated in beside the lake, the big lake of Vänern in Sweden. And we are I think the 4th biggest school in Sweden, actually, because we have a lot of programs. So there, for being upper secondary school in Sweden, we have 2,200 students right now. A little bit over 300 persons in the staff. Not all of them teachers, but a big part of them, of course. What else? The school system is divided. So the 10th year, they go in compulsory school is similar for everyone. They can pick a little bit different of languages and things like that. But other than that, they have the same exam, you can say. But at the upper secondary, you can choose between different programs. And they are divided in vocational programs and programs preparing for higher studies. And I am at the social study program, and it's preparing for high school and university. And it's a 3-year study, but that's the same for all the program at upper secondary. And I think being a teacher today, there's a lot of talk about young people, that there are a lot of problems, they cannot read, they cannot do that. But I think if you go back 10 years or even 20 years, I've been a teacher for a long time now, it's kind of the same discussion outside of school, but in school we just keep on doing our best with it's not like we are influenced and making things worse than they really are. What can I say? Being a teacher, it's a fantastic work to do. Every morning you wake up and you feel you have like purpose, and it's always fun to go to school. And all the young people are not, that's the question you often get from people outside of school. Aren't you afraid of your students? I've heard that, and it's like, no, I'm not. So there is kind of another image in school and outside school. I don't know if it's the same in the US or in Rockford.
I think that's a good comment to make, Annette, because that's conversations I know is happening other places too, but probably the same outside the organization versus inside. So that's very insightful, and how nice to hear that you wake up happy, you go to work every day. That's wonderful. And it's a wonderful school. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
I think I saw a question in the chat box.
Yeah. So one question is if a U.S. teacher can teach in Sweden, and do you want to start answering, and I can?
I think they can do it as a guest teacher, but if you want to have, and you can do it for short term. But if you want to have a longer, what do you call it, assignment, I think you have to validate your education.
Right, and then there's the citizenship and or a visa and stuff like that. But definitely you can come as an exchange, and that's something we actually talked about in this partnership. So, hint, contact Emma if you're interested to explore that. And also the question is, what courses are included in the social studies curriculum and the secondary level?
Yeah, so for the first year, no matter what program you go, it's more or less similar. So you have the same basic foundation. And as I talked about the vocational programs earlier, all the programs has the opportunity to extend their courses so they can be prepared to go to high school and university. There is an outspoken goal for the government to have more young people going to university and high school. But it's like mathematics, English, and Swedish and social studies. That's compulsory for the first year. And English is, of course, we start very early with English studies. I think in first year with the 7 years of age. And so a lot of, we have quite a high level of our English courses at upper secondary. And what else? In social studies, the students can, for their second year, they can choose between 3 different ways to continue. So it's about behavioral science, even more studies in history and social studies and like national economics and things like that. And the third one is in media communication. This is my subjects. And at our school, we call them, it's like the behavioral courses is about the people. Social studies and history is more about the world. And the media is about the media and the world and the people, of course, because it's connected.
I can add too for the people that are participate from Rockford that the academy system that you're implementing at the school system, it's quite similar to what the school Anette is at. That you have the foundation, but then you focus on a specific area. And even if you choose a trade like vocational, you still have a foundation if you want to go forward to the university. So that's a big difference from. It's a little bit like community college, I would say. Somewhere in between last year of high school, first years of or community college, because when we attend university, we go directly to our bachelor's or master's. So we don't do those 2 years of general classes, to give you an idea of. It's kind of a community college, and also the level of the students. I would say I would add to the question that how long the exchange would be. Well, for you, Dan, it will be 3 years, and but it will be probably less than a year. But we could look into those rules. But I mean, a short term. Like a couple of weeks or a few months is easy to do. I think as long as you're below the limit of visas and stuff like that, we can look into that. I want to add to that, it's always interesting what affects students to choose what they want to choose. And I chose economics, social, when I came to De la Gardie. And then I got to meet Anette, and she had social science, and she was going to Prague, Czechoslovakia. So I switched. It's like, oh, that seems fun, so I changed. So and it turned out okay, but it's just, that was the reason why I changed. I do want to go into the third question, Anette. Have you been to Rockford?
Yes, I have been to Rockford, and it's 10 years ago already. But it was, I have a lot of good memories from that trip. It was very well planned, and we did a lot of interesting and very Asian things. But when I thought back about the time, I remember visiting the Elander home, of course, the museum. It was very nice. It felt like an old Swedish home in Sweden. Yes, I always went to the NYU. It's very hard to pronounce all these vowels. And that was also very nice. I like the big pond outside of the NYU. And we had a nice visit to a class in economics, I think. Not maybe maybe the best memories was the Stockholm Inn and their very big portions of apple pie. So when we ordered them, we thought, okay, so this is for a whole table. Okay, no, it's just for me. Yeah.
That's funny. And we thought that after this session or tonight, I will post some photos on our Swedish Historical Society Facebook page from Anette's visit, so you can see what she was doing. She was there with a coworker and I believe 6 students.
Yeah.
And they also stayed in host families, which was so wonderful of the Rockford community to open up their homes. And it's interesting a little bit that we went to see Dan Morgan, who is from NIU, on this Zoom. And then last year, Dan came to Sweden with his students from NIU, and Anette hosted 1 or 2 of them, I think, at least, for dinner and such. So important and nice to see that the connections last. I think we have a question that maybe you want to answer, Anette, about how the COVID has affected the schools in Sweden, because I know that's a little bit different from the US.
Yeah, I don't know. I have just heard about the US that some schools have been completely closed for a long time. But we, last year, March the 18th, we, on the afternoon, the day before, we got the message that from tomorrow you will have no lessons at school, but it will all be in digital meetings. So it was quite a quick change there. But we are a school, we have quite a long experience, and we are very, well equipped with computers and the one-to-one system, which we started a long time ago. So in that part, we also had prepared for it. But since 18th of March last year, we have not had normal school. But we have tried to have the students at home for 2 weeks and at school for 1 week. And when we are taking one, like the first year students 1 week and they go home, and then we have the second year students. But we also have had all our lessons as usual. We have followed our schedules, but it has been in digital meetings. So one is quite used to having digital meetings nowadays after a couple of hundred. But one about the COVID, it has affected, of course, a lot of the society. But you have one good thing is that our students has really begun to understand and appreciate school, because when you are used to having, I mean, Sweden, we have so much opportunities and very good schools, and you know, free school lunch, and all books are free. They get the computer for 3 years as their own without charge. So it's more like, oh, do I have to go to school? It's boring. And now it's more like, oh, can't we come to school? And it's very, I mean, that's a good outcome. But you also notice as a teacher that it's quite heavy to have only digital lessons, because it's not the dynamics, and it's hard to get any energy back. That was it.
Good. Do you have a quote or a saying that you could share with us? And could you please share it both in Swedish and in English?
Yes, I have. And that's actually one I use a lot, so my students maybe get bored at it. But det är alltså, det man tränar på blir man bättre på. So whatever you practice at, you will get better at this. And that's, I think you can, that's the only quote you need, maybe. But sometimes it's needed also for some students. They don't understand, how do I do to get better? But I also have one, if you don't want the long quote, so arbeta hårt och var trevlig. Work hard, be nice. I think that goes a long way also.
Those are perfect. Really good. Really good attitude to live by too. Thank you very much for that, Anette. And thank you for being here with us, and for everyone else as well. I know Anette and I have to wrap up because we actually have a tennis board meeting here coming up. So we're going to shift over to that. But it's easy travel since it's just a switch from Zoom to Teams, I think. So that's easy. We will do one more Fika in June. So look out for that. And then we will take a break July and August to follow the traditional Swedish way of kind of taking a break for everything. And then we will do monthly again starting up in September. So please be on the lookout for that. And thank you again, everyone, for attending. And big thank you to Anette Larsson, my favorite old teacher, for taking the time to be here and share your story with us. It was very nice to have you here. So thank you to everyone, and we will finish the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.